Hi everyone and welcome back to our new episode. We are in trouble with True Crime Sisters team. And today we are looking into Vera Renczi, a female serial killer from Romania. Now, like always, we appreciate the support from everyone listening, but please be aware, this is a true crime podcast. So this episode will contain murders and poisoning, so please stop listening if it's not your thing. I don't know why, but it seems like I keep finding these cases that has taken place so long ago, so there's very little information on them. I found some articles saying that there is little information about this woman and her crimes, that it might be just a story and not a real person, and it's almost impossible to find images of her. So in this video I will only add from her school, where she's from, her town, her first husband's bank. So back to the story. Some of the dates and years seem a little bit strange that I won't spend a lot of time mentioning them here, because some of the information seems to be very depending on where you find it. So I'll read over what I found, and I hope the details below are as close to the truth that I can come. I would also like to apologize in advance for mispronouncing any names or locations. We're going back to the early 1900s, or at least that's what the sources online say. We are meeting the Black Widow Vera. Vera was born in 1903 in Bucharest, I think, in Romania. She lived with her mother and father until she turned 13. This is where her mother died, and she and her father moved to a new location. Nagy Berkest, I think it's called. I'm sorry if it's not correct. She was then sent to a boarding school, but from what we understand, her teen years were not easy. And this is where she really started developing her jealousy personality. She has several boyfriends in her teen years. Some of these boyfriends were also a lot older than her, and she's said to have been a very jealous and possessive girl. She would also run away from school and home to spend time with these boys. She was constantly looking for a boyfriend and craved companionship from them. She would then get very jealous, incredibly possessive of them. And she was very convinced that they all cheated on her with other women. Her first marriage took place before she turned 20, and it was to an old banker. His name was Karl Schick, and they had a son together named Lorenzo. We have no information about her life with Karl, so we don't know if it was a happy marriage, but we know they had a son together. But even as a married woman and a mother, she was not happy. She would stay at home while her husband was at work, and she convinced herself that he was cheating on her with another woman. She was so convinced, and she got so angry at her husband that one day after he got home from work, she poisoned his wine with arsenic. She then told everyone that Karl had left her and her son for another woman. A year later, she told people that she had been contacted and she had been informed that he had died in an accident. She was now free to marry again, and she did not wait long before trying to tie the knot with somebody else. But this marriage did not last long either, and after a few months, her new man disappeared. And like with Karl, this new husband also abandoned them, and again she waited a while before telling people that she had heard from her husband that he wanted a divorce. After 2 failed marriages, she decided not to get married again, but she did have several lovers, and even after a few affairs with married men. There is no information on who these men were, where they were from, or how she met them. But one thing they had in common was that after meeting our young Vera, they disappeared, and no one ever heard from them again. The story of how she was caught goes like this. She brought home a married man to her house, and when he did not return home, his wife got word. She informed the police the day after. The police came knocking on her door, and this is where they found a horror show in the basement. 32 dead bodies were found in her basement, covered in zinc. Some sources say that these men were found in coffins, and some say they were found in some sort of large containers. She explained herself to the police. and said they all wanted to leave her anyway, so why not end up in her basement? She had killed them all by poisoning them with arsenic. And please be aware that dying from this is not something that happens right away. It takes some time and is very painful. When ingested, depending on your dosage, you will have horrible stomach pain, vomiting, bloody diarrhea, and if you get small dosage over long periods, you can also see evidence on the skin. It can get thicker or darker, and it can also lead to heart disease and cancer. Among these men, they also found her son Lorenzo, and it said that he found out about her murders and all the bodies in the basement, so she had to kill him to silence him. She was arrested and got a life sentence for her crimes. Now, like in the beginning, I mentioned that there's very little information out there about Vera and her son, so this makes for a very short episode. There is also no pictures of this woman, at least not confirmed. You can search up pictures and you will see a lot, but you don't know if it's her. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I will see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.